Hello, is this Mr. Gambino here with a new video? In this video, I'm going to be going over the event week for this week from like May 5th, 2022 to like May 11th, 2022. But yeah, starting off with the main menu this time around, it features like free mode event bonuses for like the month or whatever, the RC like Bandito like race bonuses, and then like the Ron contact missions on like 50 times money and RP. And yeah, this event starts the full release of the Brioso HSW upgrade, and the cost of that was about $1.1 million. The exact price off C was in like the video part earlier. And yeah, obviously it has like its typical two liveries from the original version back from like the Cunning Suns update, and then it also has like those typical like HSW liveries, plus there's a couple more for the membership and all that. And yeah, it is the new best compact in the game. It's a #1 lap time and top speed from what I saw from Bruffy1322. A link to the video will be in the description below. But yeah, lap time, it's not really all that much better. The BF Club back from Los Santos Summer Special can still be pretty good. BF Club can still be pretty competitive as long as there's a lot of lap time. However, though, the big difference is top speed. It's like, I believe I saw it was like 12 to like 13 miles like per hour, whatever, better than the BF Club for top speed. So it is definitely a pretty damn good vehicle, no doubt. Onto the HSW Time Trial this time around, it was North Chumash, the 8th and apparently final HSW Time Trial as well, considering I did unlock the HSW like elite livery, but yeah. Starting off, there's a set of like trees on the left, like near the start. I kind of did a little bit of like a shortcut there. These like early like off-roady like shortcuts, I feel it's kind of debatable if it's much of a like shortcut or not. I did them just in case. I kind of feel on the side as they can maybe save time. And yeah, after the one by the trees, there's one that made for like a pretty good jump, kind of. I feel that could maybe be a small little time save. And then yeah, there was a couple attempts where I did try to go on the train tracks pretty early, but if you go into like train tracks too early, then it's definitely going to make the time trial longer than it needs to be, and in fact, I wasn't really successful at all. But yeah, where the train tracks first come on, I did like try to do like a little bit of like a jump into the like train track like tunnel area and whatnot, and it was surprisingly not that difficult to do. However, though, be warned if you were to try it for some reason that the train does like spawn pretty like consistently inside of like the tunnel, so do keep that in mind. And there was kind of another shortcut kind of around where like the GPS route kind of starts to go a little bit like south once you kind of get off the like huge like first off-roady section. I tried going to the train tracks there and that wasn't really all that convenient either. And yeah, for the most part, once you kind of get to where like the GPS route starts to go like south, if you mark on like the yellow marker, after that, it's pretty much for the most part going the whole legitimate route until a certain point, which I'll mention later. There's a third and like final instance where I tried to go on the train tracks that wasn't really all that successful, and that was kind of like right past the like airstrip. I attempted to go on like the train tracks there, but yeah. The problem is if you go too early, like there's like a very huge like curve that it goes into and whatnot, which is kind of an unnecessary like waste of time and whatnot, so it's better to go to like the Davis like quarry and whatnot. And then you finally want to deviate away from like the yellow like GPS marker that I marked with like the purple icon and whatnot. Once you get on the train tracks here though, you pretty much just stay on the train tracks until you get very close to the yellow marker. And yeah, pay attention, of course, to where I like jump off by like the bridge or whatever. And from there, it's pretty smooth sailing. I did fall off, but I still like managed to be like a couple to few seconds like ahead of time. If I didn't fall off, I could have maybe been around like 10 to 15 seconds ahead of like the part time. And yeah, being the probably final HSW time trial, I did end up unlocking the HSW Elite Livery, which I believe at Dallas Carmi was $25,000 once unlocking it by completing every single one of the HSW time trials. Onto the house premium test ride this time around is the Brioso RA, which was the vehicle that was released for everybody during this event. And being the only HSW compact vehicle, I definitely think it makes it pretty worth it, to say the least. Onto the get special free mode bonuses this month. The theme for the month of May in terms of like all the different event weeks will be free mode bonuses, so expect a lot of different things for free mode. As for the stuff listed in like the text below and stuff, more details on those later. Onto triple rewards from business battles. From what I have heard, the optimal setup apparently is to be in like an invite-only lobby with like 3 to 5 players. And those 3 to 5 players do also need to be like outside of like apartments and like other like buildings apparently to count towards like 3 to 5 players. The reason you want 3 to 5 players is because if you go like 6 or more, I believe that also allows for like the late 2015 like free mode events to spawn, and those are nowhere near as good, I would say, as the business battles. Not only that, but obviously it reduces like the spawn frequency of business battles, and obviously you will want those as much as possible. So if you set up business battles optimally, it can definitely be a very good money opportunity this time around. And yeah, the triple rewards, I believe that counts towards the money you actually get on your character, not the like goods you occur. Because yeah, the goods you occur, that's probably tied to like cargo and shipments and stuff. Obviously that stuff's not going to be on triple. It's going to be the money you get on hand with your character. And I assume on triple it can actually rival the like security contracts in terms of the money you get directly towards your character, not even including the like goods you occur in the nightclub. So you have a very damn good opportunity here. And yeah, there's ones with 2 cargo and also ones with like 8 cargo. Most of the like different business battles will have like 2 cargo, like the older ones from like after hours. I think there's a couple added with like the Los Santos like summer special DLC that has like 8 things of cargo. Like I think there's a bunch of like factory ones, and then there's also like the USS like Lexington one, for example. So the ones with 8 cargo are definitely going to be the better ones to get. And yeah, I think those also require the 3 to 5 players. I don't think it's like increased at all for the 8 cargo ones. So yeah, invite only 3 to 5 players, definitely the way to go, and that's outside of like apartments and stuff. Onto to get the pink or green wireframe bodysuit. These are a couple different clothing rewards you can obtain for the business battles currently. And if I recall actually from like previous events with like business battles and stuff, you might actually need to look out for if a like business battle says like event cargo or something like that. Because if there's a business battle and only says like the regular like business battle text, then you might not be eligible for clothing. You might need to look out, of course, again for if it says the event like cargo. There might be a % chance or something that you might not be able to get one of these clothing things, whether it gives you an event cargo or not, if I recall correctly. Onto 2 times money and RP on wrong contact missions. In my opinion, Ron is actually one of the like lesser like good contacts similar to like Lamar when it comes to his, like day 1 like contact missions. Even his like lowrider missions don't really tend to pay good, so I feel Ron is definitely one of the lesser contacts similar to Lamar. Gerald to an extent, not counting like the last play missions, though even then maybe. So yeah, Ron definitely one of the weaker contacts for me personally. But yeah, a couple recommendations for different like Ron contact missions that I recommend. Probably the one I would recommend the most in a sense would be Wet Workers. Wet Workers, I think it's like his last like unlockable like mission, which means you tend to get a bit higher like payout because of the like higher rank requirement in order to unlock the mission. And yeah, Wet Workers, I recommend like the Oppressor Mark II. Another one that I kind of recommend or whatever, but depends on if you want to get like 3 other people in like a lobby to be able to start up the job, because it requires like 4 players I think to start up, which I think is the most for any contact mission in the game. Not counting like the Lamar missions, but more like for a day 1 contact mission. There's like a landing gear, a landing strip, whatever it's called. That one I would recommend like the Armored Crew. I think that's what I typically use on that one. And then the one I've been showing off in the gameplay earlier was Base Invaders. And Base Invaders is a pretty interesting one. That one actually has like infinitely like respawning enemies. So it's actually a pretty difficult contact mission. So it could make for a pretty fun challenge for those who want more of a challenge. And personally for that one I recommend the Hydra for Base Invaders. And yeah, the most optimal way to play any sort of like contact mission really is you can make a playlist in game with contact missions as long as you recently play all the like contact missions you want to add to like a playlist. So you can play off like Ron's like contact missions, and then you can go into like the playlist being recently played jobs, and then you can like add all the different like Ron contact missions. Then you have the ability to like easily replay all of the different contact missions. On to the 2 times money in RP on the RC Bandito races and in RC Time Trials. Before I do that though, I will go into like the modes that are coming back basically for the like month of May. But yeah, the RC Bandito races, those return for a limited time for the month of May essentially. Again, a bit more on that later. But yeah, also Motor Wars, Truck Off, and then Special Vehicle races return for the month of May as well. Motor Wars is like a battle royale, kind of like adversary mode in the game. Truck Off is like a versus mode, and it's again like the one versus mode that's available right now, similar to what they did with like Road Game last time. And special vehicle races, those are like all the different like stunt races that use certain special vehicles like the Deluxo, the Thruster, Blitz Aqua, Rocket Voltic, Ruiner 2000, and possibly other ones that I might have not mentioned as well there. So definitely some pretty fun ones, I would say, for the returning modes for the month of May this time around. And yeah, RC Bandito races, 2 times money RP, they're just okay in my opinion. They're not really going to be that great, obviously. The payouts for races in general, not really going to be that great. It's also kind of a hard set of races, I would say, because you actually don't really have much of a like performance upgrade to have much of an advantage in the RC like Bandito races. The closest thing to a performance upgrade is like the jump boost, and even then you can't really use the jump boost all that optimally, I would assume, in the RC Bandito races. So when you are playing the RC Bandito races, you will be on a very level playing field, I would say, which is nice if you don't have a customized RC Bandito, but yeah. It's kind of hard to have much of an advantage compared to in most races, so I would kind of avoid it in that regard. And yet, RC Time Trial is Cemetery currently, and you get like $204,000, makes it like around like $50,000 less than HSW Time Trial actually, which makes it pretty worth it. And as for advice, I do not really have any. I'll just watch my gameplay, obviously, of the Cemetery RC Bandito Time Trial. On to the prize ride this time around, it is the Progen Itali GTB. And yeah, the Progen Itali GTB is a very retro vehicle from the very first Grand Theft Auto game, so it is a very nostalgic vehicle, which is pretty cool. And also, it can be upgraded to like a custom version that can get like the Benny's like modifications. And being a Benny's vehicle means that it's a very like great customization for the custom version. But to be clear, you're getting the regular version here. You just have the option to upgrade it to a custom later on. But yeah, the challenge this time around, you have to win a street race 5 days in a row. You can easily do that if you like exchange like wins with like a friend or something like that, who also might want the like Itali GTB. So the only bad part about the challenge is definitely the 5 days in a row. But yeah. As for performance for the actual Itali GTB itself, it's not good in any circumstance. But if you were to turn into like a custom version, it could be okay on like the 8th gen versions, but on 9th gen, it's definitely a pass, I would say, with the new like HSW vehicles and their top speed and stuff. Onto the regular like test track, like test ride vehicles this time around, there is the Pegassi Infernus, the Truffaut Adder, and then the Pegassi Reaper. All 3 of those are pretty old school supercars. 2 of those like old school supercars are literally from like day 1 of the game, and like the Reaper is like from like 2015, 2016 at the latest, I think. And yeah, there's a lot of supercars that get released, so all of these are very like outdated. They don't really perform that good anywhere for like a performance standpoint. And yeah, for any performances and stuff I mentioned, refer to the spreadsheet linked in the description below. On to the Podium Vehicle this time around, it is the P-Fister Comet Safari. And yeah, the Comet Safari is a weaponized Comet, essentially, which is definitely pretty cool. It's one of those, like, civilian-ish, like, vehicles from, like, the Doomsday Heist DLC that they put, like, machine guns on. It's definitely a very fun vehicle to get, and because of the machine guns, obviously, it's going to be more useful than, like, 95% of all the vehicles in the game. Onto the discounts for this week, there is 30% off of nightclubs, and then the additional storage being 30% off. And that is all definitely quite worth it, because I stayed in a nightclub, and it's like passive, like business is definitely like the second best thing you can do in the game, like right behind like Cayo Perico Heist, because it pretty much automatically does everything by itself as long as you like have everything, so it's definitely like the second best thing in the game, I would say, for the nightclub stuff there. And then 40% off the RC Bandito there. RC Bandito is obviously needed for those RC Bandito time trials where you can get like 100,000 like every single event week basically. Or, of course, for this event, since it's double, you can get like 200,000 for the RC Bandito time trial this time around. Very nice for sure. And then the P996 laser, 30% off. That one doesn't really need much explaining. It's like the most overpowered like weaponry in the entire game. That crazy explosive cannon. It's not like the Hydra though, where you can use like the VTOL capabilities to be like a helicopter or like a jet. That one's limited to just a jet mode, obviously, for the laser. So it's not as good of a grinding vehicle in some ways, I would say, compared to the Hydra at least. GP1, 30% off, I would skip that one. It didn't really seem to have any good performance from what I saw on the spreadsheet. I'll be linked in the description. Avenger doesn't really have like a unique like money making opportunity like the Kasaka, the Terabyte, and like the MOC do. But it's like the best vehicle of like the MOC weaponry in the game because it can go in like the air, it can go all kinds of different places with the crazy weaponry and stuff it has. So it can be a pretty good like PvP vehicle and stuff like that, I would say, for the Avenger in some ways. And yeah, Heavy Night Shark, that's a very armored vehicle in the game, so definitely very worth it for the Night Shark. And there's a couple discounts on the like thing over there, and that is 40% off the P-Fister Comet and the P-Fister Comet Retro Custom. Regular Comet's $100,000 normally, so it's $60,000 right now. And yeah, I do not recommend the regular Comet, but if you are a big fan of like lots of customization and like Benny's vehicles, and the P-Fister Comet Retro Custom, I would say, is an absolute must buy if you like customizations. And then finally, 50% off of the Festival Bus. Festival Bus is a Pegasus vehicle, and you can basically own like all the Pegasus vehicles in the game, so why not get the Festival Bus 50% off? And yeah, you do have to individually buy like all the different like versions of it. There's like 8 to like 10 different liveries or something. You do have to buy all those like individually, so if you do want to collect all the different liveries, might as well get them all on 50% off. Yeah, regular time trial casino, not really that hard at all, I would say. Gameplay really speaks for itself, and then Premium Race is the like Sonora freeway for supercars. For supercars there, and yeah, that one kind of has a bit of top speed and stuff. Refer to the spreadsheet or like use HSW vehicles. That's not going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed.